we'll see the working of collector modulation. Before we start getting the AM signal from this collector modulation, we need to find what is the tune frequency of the IFT. So we know that IFTs are tuned for a frequency of 455 kHz. We'll just verify what is the tune frequency of IFT. For that, you can start without modulating signal. I have switched off the modulating signal. So this is my carrier signal generator. So it is kept at 2 megahertz, and that is 0.32, which happens to be 320 kilohertz. So let us exactly find what is the frequency of that using the DSO. Now before we find the frequency, we need to vary the input frequency so that where I get the maximum response. You can see this is the output of the IFT. So now we know that IFTs are tuned circuits, so they are having the frequency response of a tuned circuit. Now this is the frequency variation, is the output voltage. So we need to have a tuned response. That means it has to give maximum response at only a particular frequency. So this is our FIFT. So I need to find at what input frequency I'm getting the maximum response. So as I just vary the frequency here, you can see now I will vary the carrier frequency. You can see the response is varying. So this means to say that okay, there is a tuned response. Now the aim of this variation is to identify where the response is maximum. So you can have a look at the output of the frequency, amplitude of the output, IFT output. I'm just reducing. So you can see it's varying. So you just try to identify where the response is maximum. So if I slightly, it was found that this is the frequency at which I'm getting the maximum response. So you can just find the frequency of that one. So as it is found on your DSO, the carrier frequency is 345 kilohertz. So that we can take it as FIFT. So FIFT happens to be, this is our first reading corresponding to 345 kilohertz. Now once we are through with this one, now we can just switch on the modulating signal. So let me switch on the modulating signal. Of course you can clearly see the waveform here now. You can the shape of the output waveform is purely sinusoidal, and you can see the output amplitude in terms of 2 subvolts. Now it's around 5 divisions into 2, so it's around 10 or 12 volts. So you need to have the output of your IFT in terms of few volts. So if it is in terms of few points of volts, then you may have to better change the IFT because its response is not good. So in order to verify the amplitude modulated waveform, we have to reduce the time period because we are having the envelope at frequency of few hertz, that is in terms of hundreds of hertz. I can see there is a amplitude modulated waveform. Now you can see now the time division knob is in terms of millisecond. Now it is, you can see this is in terms of, so this is somewhere in 0.5, 0.2 millisecond. So whereas to observe the carrier you have to go in terms of microsecond, because there the carrier frequency is in terms of hundreds of kilohertz, whereas the modulated waveform whose envelope will be there at frequency hundreds of hertz. So you may just do one mistake, that so you'll be getting the response when you switch on the modulating, you're getting this type of waveform. So I just panic that okay, where my AM signal, there is a AM signal, but we are not properly observing that. So in order to observe the AM signal, we need to increase the time division from microsecond to millisecond. So because I'm going to have the envelope frequency as equal to the modulating frequency. Now we can, of course, before you start taking the reading, just verify whether by varying the amplitude of the modulating signal, does your modulation index changes or not. You can have a look at the output waveform. I'll simply increase the amplitude of the modulating signal. You can see the modulation index is keep increasing. So it will go close to around 90%. So this is around 80 or 85%. So you can just vary that. You can say I'm reducing. So it varies from almost 0% to almost 85%. Now this ensures that you can start taking the reading. Okay, you can start taking the reading. So this is the type of waveform what you are having on your screen. You measure peak to peak of this one, which happens to be Vmax. You just measure the peak of these minimum values, which happens to be minimum. So you can find what is the modulation index of this AM signal by using this equation. Now for each and every variation of the modulating signal, you keep noting down what is Vmax and Vmin, so that you can note down, so that you can calculate what is the modulation index. So okay, with this as a modulating signal, measure Vmax and Vmin, you will get one modulation index. You change the amplitude of the modulating signal, you can see both Vmax and Vmin have been changed, so your modulation index is keep changing. This you can continue up till you get the maximum modulation index. So finally you'll be having readings. So you are varying the amplitude of the modulated signal, which happens to be Vm. So there is a certain change in modulation index. So you may get almost a linear graph. So as you increase the amplitude of the modulated signal, modulation index keeps on increasing linearly. So this is what is you have to do in this experiment to find out the modulation index versus the amplitude of the modulated signal. Now we can see what is the demodulation of this circuit. So you just simply connect an envelope detector which is having just one diode R and C's. Now let me just connect the same thing. So let's just verify what is the modulated waveform and its demodulated version. Let me utilize both the channels. Okay, I'm using both the channels. Press the dual. I can slightly adjust I can slightly reduce the amplitude of increase the. Now I can see whatever envelope you are getting. So this is the envelope, this is the output of your envelope detector. You can see it exactly resembles the shape of the envelope. So I'm getting back the modulating signal from this amplitude modulating signal. So let me vary the amplitude of the frequency of the modulating signal. You can see the output frequency also changes. So I'll just vary the frequency of the modulating signal. You can see this also changes. Now please never try to compare the amplitude of your modulating signal and amplitude of the demodulated waveform. So they'll be totally different. Now what is we are supposed to verify is whether the frequency of modulating and the demodulated waveform are the same or not. So you can just also verify whether the frequency of both of them is same or not. So that's you can see both of them are having same frequency. Okay, there's a phase shift of 180 degree because we are seeing the output at the collector point, but you can see their frequency wise they are 100% same. So this is what we are interested in. So we just try to know whether the frequency of both of them is correct or not. So as I vary this one, that also changes. So this is what is the demodulation what we are supposed to get. Naturally the amplitude of your input is in terms of tens of volts, whereas the output of your demodulation in terms of 0.5 of volts. Now we are not worried about what is the amplitude of your demodulating and demodulating. What we need to just ensure that the frequency wise they are same.